how's it going? Welcome back to the Motherfucker after my bath.
I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard.
Away from the bathtub.
I took a look, and Iris was... Oh, Mystic Elise! And with that sword of all things... Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out her window.
You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in court, and me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that.
Miss Trudge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Could you do something about that habit of yours? I finished my bath around 11 and I thought I should return to the inner temple. How far is it from your room to the inner temple?
Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge.
Still, you never made it back there that night, did you?
That's right. I was heading along the walkway toward the main hall.
I was walking back, I heard a noise in the courtyard. I took a look and... You say you heard a noise?
Thump! 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 Just like that! Thump!
It could only be the sound of the victim falling.
It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can even hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump! Just like that.
Have you figured out have you chosen a creep and falling now?
But then, couldn't this noise you heard have been snow falling to the ground?
I never thought of that.
Oh!
Next one to the left gets a ripping!
Oh, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and
I was just, oh, Mr. Galise, and with the sword of all things! This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant, but some doubt remains in these claims.
Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to...
The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw, as clearly as you can.
Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Oh! Now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about her. Something that has been bugging me all this time.
Please, don't keep us in suspense.
Her hood!
Her head?
That's right! It's coming back to me! Iris! She wasn't wearing her head! I thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right?
Huh. You've dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth.
What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important? Well... Who the fuck is coughing?
Dear God, dude.
I would
it's
say...
kind of weird that they would put that in the game.
Yeah, very weird. I would say it's important. Sure.
This may initially appear to put me at a disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony. Miles Edgeworth, if you want to hang yourself, you only need to ask. I gladly lend you my whip.
Witness, add that statement to your testimony.
No problem. Now that you mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on.
You are sure about that?
Yes. After all, we always wear the same clothes. Oh! I know, maybe because we're poor, you understand? It's our style. Yes, that's it.
There's absolutely no need to explain yourself.
Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out.
Like me holding a whipped puppy instead of my whip. At least then it might bite you and not someone else.
Iris didn't have her hood on, I'm sure of it.
Very well. Now, please tell us about the victim.
Mr. Elise was staying in the corner room which faces onto the courtyard. The room that the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct?
Which means the victim's room was on the second floor.
Oh no, Hazakura Temple is a single-story building. But the mountain itself slopes downward, which elevates the main gate side of the temple and the guest rooms in the back to about the height of a 2-story building.
I see. And the victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct?
Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to her room after all.
The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. What makes you so sure of all this?
It's just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? Oh, just like that.
You're one smart sister, I give you that. The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicated a fall from around 10 feet in height.
It appears that the witness was not mistaken then.
Yep. I'm more than just a pretty face, especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith, after all. The head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
There's only 2 of them walking there. Let's run, Miles Edgeworth. No snappy comeback with Mark. It doesn't feel like she is lying. This is very powerful testimony too. She claims to have seen the incident in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only 2 things I can believe in right now. My client, Iris, and my own abilities as a defense attorney. Oh, what am I doing?
Alright, let's buzz through these statements. Finished my bathroom at 11. I thought I was returning to the inner temple.
Yes.
When I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and
Yep.
Iris was Mystic Elise. And with that sword of all
Mystic
things.
Elise, level up to your typical.
Iris didn't have her hood on. That tracks.
Yeah.
Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room which faces out onto the courtyard. Tracks. Stabbing aside must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is what I think happened. Someone, not Iris, pushed Elise out of the window, and Iris was trying to help her, but it looked incriminating.
Okay.
Or it was.
So you think that she was an accomplice?
What?
So you think that Iris was an accomplice?
No. I think Iris was like maybe trying to pull the sword out of her back, and it looked like she was stabbing her.
She was helping Elise.
Yeah. Or it was a 2-man job. Someone pushed Elise out the window, and then Iris actually did stab her. Or it wasn't Iris at all. It was Dahlia, who was a completely different person. They're twins or whatever. But I guess the way to, I guess the evidence would be who pushed her out the window, I guess. But like, I don't know what we have there.
Yeah.
The stabbing was occurred after she was pushed out. Who pushed her out the fucking window? Body fell 10 feet after death. Oh, so she couldn't have been thrown out the window, then stabbed, because the stabbing is what killed her. She had to have been stabbed and then thrown out the window.
Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway.
Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter.
However, I think that you are overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report. The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
Oh, I just almost went to... So, the judge isn't in the final case? Like...
Unfortunately, he's not there right now. He's not there.
That actually kind of breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I think man.
He'll be fine.
No Phoenix, no Judge, no Maya.
Yep.
It's like a totally different game.
It is. It does seem like it. Feels like Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney.
It does.
Mm-hmm. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
I'm actually kind of fucking sad. That's right. It says at her death right here.
The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. The defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard. How did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall? Ah!
Oh, order. The victim was killed in info. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree?
That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room, and then she was thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below. Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Stonham's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would at least leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? Wah!
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your whippage just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there was no blood in the room, that you're... Wah!
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure your honor is very rare, that when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood...
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's incision. And you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, it would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions.
Order. I must admit that this is a probable version of events.
I expect no less from Franziska Von Karma. He locates and takes control of every vital point.
It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please remain standing on the crate.
Don't go selling me short now. The weight of winter snow has bit me out of shape, especially my back and my mood.
Sister, please, give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. With the whip.
Oh boy! All right. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mr. Khalees. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mr. Khalees was stabbing Mr. Khalees through the back.
This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Not a camera straight for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility, Franziska von Kammer. And I'm here to teach you just that. When I looked across the scene, the sword was already in place. At that time, was the victim bleeding?
Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood, not then.
So that you didn't. The victim was acting as a plug in the wound. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? Looking about it now, I don't actually see you stab Mr. Galise. Think carefully. This is very important.
It's Iris we were talking about here. I'm thinking of all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mr. Galise's body.
It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory. The victim was stabbed in the room and then jumped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth. I've never seen so much blood before! So, you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right! Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too.
When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in the room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner. What? The clothes were blood-flecked as well.
That seems quite conclusive to me.
What should I do? Let's just point further.
Press it further.
Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw a little bleeding when the victim was stabbed, but now you say you saw the victim bleeding.
Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw.
What did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her plain as day.
You're pulling the sword out.
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling, it was more like it came out.
Witness, you'll add this statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important?
More important than you can imagine. Listen to this statement.
Oh.
I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out.
Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out?
That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mr. Kami. Mr. Galise was on the ground and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mr. Galise's body. It slid out from a gaping wound. No!
It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding.
Nothing out of place here. Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which could possibly have happened appears to have happened. Never seen so much blood before. Hold it! Was bleeding caused by the killer removing the sword?
No mistaking it, I remember it all clear as day.
Don't you think that's a bit odd? What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? Why would the killer pull out the sword? That... If all she wanted to do was place the weapon in the hand of the golden statue, then there was no reason to remove it from the body. All that would accomplish is causing the victim to bleed unnecessarily. Your thoughts, Miss Von Kammer? That's...
Indeed. It is strange now that you mention it.
I'm going to need to find an answer to this mystery too. Anyway, the witness saw something terrible. What did you do after that, witness? That's what I find. You can't blame me, can you? Okay. Now, on to what the killer did next. You saw none of it, correct?
Well, I was unconscious.
Alone with you out for?
I don't know. 10, maybe 20 minutes? A young man with a very prickly looking head woke me up. By stepping on me, actually.
I'm not sure I like that method of resuscitation.
Well, I wasn't asking for mouth to mouth or anything of the sort. But I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about then, let me tell you.
I shall have the words with the offender personally. What did you see upon awakening? That's when I woke. Mystic Army was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back! By Mystic Army? Referring to the golden statue, correct?
Just stabbing someone with the Shishishito, a sacred treasure, is terrible enough. But to then make Mystic Army hold the blade!
Truly a heinous, despicable crime. It is easy to despise something. Anyone could do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. Anyway, what is the problem? Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that?
No, I don't think I can.
There is always a logical reason behind why someone acts.
It's true, so true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself...
There isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many non-natural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the Shishishito from the army statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon ultimately placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I will begin to find the truth. Wait, what am I doing?
What did Edward just say? What was your last line?
I forgot everything. I didn't think it would say that. I didn't think it would say that. Why was it necessary to use the Shishishito from the army statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon finally placed into the hand of the statue?
Yes. So, I think the wound happened with another weapon at another place. She was thrown out the window after the fact.
Okay. So you think that the Shishishito wasn't the murder weapon?
Okay. Or this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking could have happened. The Shishishito was removed from the statue.
Yes. Okay.
From a higher place, someone stabbed her in the back, pulled it out, kicked her off, and threw the sword down. The sword goes through the snow. So
she like fully like fucking scorpion it and like get over here with a chain and then grab the threw a chain at the Shishishito, grabbed it, pulled it back, and then stabbed her.
No, I think the Shishito was like removed from the statue at some other point. And then it was, if the Shishito is actually the murder weapon, which it definitely could have not been, but then I think that she was pushed out the window and the Shishito was thrown down with it. It goes into the snow. That's why it looks like it came out smoothly, is because it was in the snow. And then like someone tried to stage the murder to look like, well, now I gotta put this back, and I'll just put it through her.
Okay, well, look at the statements first, and you'll probably figure out what the contradiction is. When I looked across the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt, was smoothly drawn out.
Yes.
I'd never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And then when I woke, Mystic Army was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back.
Yeah, see, like... Oh. Well, there isn't blood up to the hilt, I'll tell you that.
Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least, I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar! But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you.
What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities.
What do you mean? Please explain you. Ah!
Explain yourself! To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. Does it appear? What meaningless dribble. I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them leap. I shall choose.
The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit.
That isn't the only issue here. If the sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. That's... We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in the body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound will be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding. That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with a shishito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly and may still sometimes stop the blood loss. I'm not finished. There is still one more conclusive contradiction.
You still got more?
This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. No!
Order!
Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage to run, if that.
But what does this all mean? You have proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but...
If we come this far, there can only be one answer. And that is... the weapon used to kill the victim was not the shishito.
What?
That foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think that the sword was the murder weapon?
Well, it's because Mr. Kami was holding it.
Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis that we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the shishito was the murder weapon.
Order, wah!
So maybe the shishito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth.
If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises.
The obvious question.
Yes. Namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found. That's...
Answer that question, Miss Von Karma.
No evidence of that kind was found.
Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast. Oh, fuck me. Who said that?
Excuse me, could I say something?
Oh, that fucked me up.
I just remembered something, actually.
What is it, sister?
I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was it was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about here?
The murder weapon, I mean, maybe. I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what? Well then, I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. Impossible! What else? What else could this old woman have seen?
I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks! Tracks! I didn't get in the snowmobile I'd been used!
Mobile!
It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please tell us everything you know. Right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. With my back, my age, you know.
Correct. There was indeed a snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here's a photograph.
A snowmobile, I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory.
The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge.
Tracks photo taken that night from main gate to Dusky Bridge.
That solves your pesky little problem, yes? Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did you really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon?
Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please.
I will do the cross-examination.
On the next episode, make sure to like, subscribe, comment below, and hit that bell so you're notified every time we upload. Bye.